I want to begin by thanking the people of Hayward for hosting us here today, and including the local superintendent of schools. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is my privilege to welcome my colleagues from the Natural Resources Committee to the Badger State, a place that I am blessed to call home and honored to represent in Congress. Today's hearing is focused on ways we can improve access and opportunities for sportsmen and women on America's federal lands. Hunting, fishing, trapping, shooting, and we talked about berry picking earlier also, and many other forms of outdoor recreation are ingrained in our American culture and heritage. Here in Wisconsin, we have some of the greatest places to recreate in the country. There are over 6.6 million acres of land open for recreation in Wisconsin, along with over 15,000 lakes and 84,000 miles of rivers. The lands and waters provide excellent habitat for a wide variety of fish and wildlife, which is why Wisconsin is ranked among the top 10 states in the country for hunting and fishing participation. I know firsthand how critical access and proper management of our public lands is for small businesses and local gateway communities. For over 20 years, my wife and I owned and operated Wilderness Cruises, a riverboat excursion business in Wisconsin's beautiful North Woods. Sadly, the public lands access that sustains the lifeblood of our communities is under attack. Public lands in Wisconsin and across the nation are under threat from extreme preservationists that want to lock up lands, limit access, prevent responsible management, close roads and trails, and shut down many of the activities Americans love participating in on our public lands. Since taking office, President Biden has been using tools like the Antiquities Act to lock up lands in pursuit of his radical 30 by 30 agenda, which has set a goal to preserve 30% of the land and water in the United States by 2030. For hunters and sportsmen, this radical agenda is unfolding in a death by 1,000 cuts. One prominent example of this is the Biden administration's attempts to ban lead ammunition and tackle in Fish and Wildlife Service refuges. Radical environmentalists have also weaponized laws like the Endangered Species Act to prevent the delisting of recovered species like the gray wolf, an issue that we are all too familiar with in Wisconsin. And these are just the threats to access that have been grabbing national headlines. A lesser known but still important threat to access is the closure and decommissioning of roads and trails. Since 1991, the Forest Service has decommissioned an average of 2,000 miles of roads per year. Many of these road closures correlate with a decline in the local forest products industry. Wisconsin has historically been a leader in forest management and responsible timber harvesting. In addition to important economic benefits, forest management is a critically important tool for maintaining forest health, supporting wildlife populations, and providing outdoor recreation areas and opportunities. A vibrant forest products industry also ensures that forest roads are well maintained so all Americans can readily access their public lands, regardless of physical ability. Maintaining and increasing motorized access is not only vital to both public access and enjoyment, but also instrumental in better managing our federal lands. Wisconsin has unfortunately seen far too many of these road closures. Just this morning, my colleagues and I visited a Forest Service road that has been closed indefinitely. There are many similar closures throughout the Chequamegon-Nicolet. I am committed to finding solutions to increase access here in Wisconsin, including making sure these roads stay open. Why does this matter? A lack of access to our public lands is commonly cited as one of the primary reasons why sportsmen and women stop hunting. The more difficult we make it to enjoy these lands, the more we risk participation of the next generation of sportsmen and sportswomen. The Natural Resources Committee has traveled to Wisconsin today not only to highlight these issues, but to continue our fight against the radical Biden agenda. This year, we have advanced innovative, common sense, and bipartisan solutions that will help restore access to our public lands for hunting, fishing, and outdoor recreation. Last month, the House passed the Explore Act, a comprehensive outdoor recreation package that cuts red tape for small recreation businesses, improves access to federal lands, and creates new opportunities for hunting, fishing, shooting, and other forms of outdoor recreation. And just a few short weeks ago, the House passed the Trust the Science Act, and the Protecting Access for Hunters and Anglers Act. These two bills would delist the gray wolf from the endangered species list and permanently protect the use of lead ammunition for hunters and anglers. These pieces of legislation will improve the management of our federal land to leave them in better condition for future generations. They are good pieces of legislation for Wisconsin and good for the nation. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here today so we can continue our discussion on this important topic. I'd especially like to thank our esteemed panel of witnesses for providing their expert insights that we are about to hear on this important topic. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.